Kalala Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Today's lesson, the hated Busification. Here we have another RT.com article that says, Ukrainian draft officers filmed forcibly detaining recruits videos. Compulsory military service continues to fuel frustration and anger across the country. The article continues to say, new video circulating online shows Ukrainian military recruiters and police officers forcibly detaining men and placing them into unmarked vehicles for possible mobilization into the conflict with Russia. Right, throwing them into the cannon fodder. Being used as cannon fodder. Ukraine continues to rely on mandatory conscription to replenish troop numbers at the front line, with press gangs operating in major cities and rural areas alike. The mobilization campaign has increasingly sparked public resentment, with many Ukrainians accusing officials of corruption and abuse of power. Right, and that's because they're frustrated. They know that they're losing the war. They have already lost the war, but they continue to fight. And Russia is a bigger adversary, with more troops, and the Russians have killed over 1 million Ukrainians. Now, the campaign known as Busification often involves officers ambushing military-aged men on the streets or raiding workplaces, after which they force them into minibuses in order to transport them to recruitment centers. That's the definition of Busification. But this also is to be expected upon modern-day Babylon the Great, when that automatic mandatory enlistment comes upon her. That's why this recent May 14th of 2026 article from the Friends Committee on National Legislation says, automatic draft registration, what comes next and why it's a problem. And it is a problem. The federal government will now automatically register young men for the draft without their consent. That will bring about problems. And it will be a major problem since modern-day Babylon the Great, for one, has taught and showed their men to uphold the wicked belief and abominable acts of the alphabet community, instead of teaching them the value of real men. Just look at those ancient empires when they fought mano a mano upon the battlefield. You don't see that no more. This war is going to be different. It shall be with the fuel and burning of fire at the push of a button. And secondly, there's a problem in the military when it comes to obesity. And that's due to that fast food garbage in which they highly push in their commercials to entice. Plus, here it says the most terrifying capability of the United States military remains the capacity to deploy a fully operational Burger King to any terrestrial theater of operations in under 24 hours. It can build a fully working Burger King almost anywhere in the world in less than 24 hours. Junk food. Plus, here I have a Google article that says, is Army food unhealthy? The laboratory analysis showed that 100% of the military food samples tested contained pesticides. 95% contained glyphosate, which has been linked to cancers, liver, and kidney disease and neurological problems. Right. So how do you expect your soldiers to be efficient and in tip-top shape when all these wicked obstacles are in the way. Hey, but I'm not complaining. He was made to be the wicked of the earth and to self-destruct, in order for true Israel to take righteous control. And that's just the bottom line. That's why the scripture of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 10:8 has said, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's right. True Israel, which consists of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Tainos, and Native American Indians, shall rule next in that righteous kingdom to come. The chosen elect Israelites wait for those righteous bodies and for that righteous control of the earth. You see? But as far as those problems and that mandatory conscription goes, expect that to also come to modern day Babylon the Great, which is America. Now, when it comes to the scriptures, they have spoken of the draft to come and of the virgins and of the women mourning. Let's go over to that scripture, 2 Esdras 16:33. Second Esdras 16:33, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Right, because the women shall lose their men to the war. There shall be many casualties of war as well. But when it comes to those soldiers that partake in that destructive nuclear Third World War, none shall return home, including those Israelites that serve their militaries. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. And when we told you that a mandatory draft was coming, many did not believe that automatic mandatory military draft registration shall now come to Americans in December. It shall come in December. It's scheduled for December. And when it comes to the worst world war of all, no soldier will come home. The scriptures have also said that the small hatters shall also draw out the Americans to that destructive Third World War of Armageddon. Hebrew word Armageddon. Just look at what took place with Iran. Those first steps to that greater war have already taken place. All that remains is that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16 to take place, and afterwards that destructive Third World War cometh quickly. It shall come quickly. Second Esdras 16:34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. When it comes to these wars, one thing to understand is that they are all bankers' wars, to take away the natural resources of those lands invaded. And wars are very profitable. We are currently witnessing small wars taking place, and we are also in the rumors of war. But make no mistake, as soon as that deceitful CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16 is fully implemented upon society, that Third World War cometh quickly. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, especially in that Third World War of utter destruction that shall come. The time will come when the Lord of hosts shall muster the host of the battle in that final showdown of World War III. Hosts meaning armies. But on that day of that greater destructive war, no soldier will come home, and many women shall mourn over the deceased husbands. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right. An inevitable Third World War is coming. But before that war to end all wars takes place, first cometh the CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. As soon as that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16 is fully implemented upon society, then that inevitable war cometh quickly. It comes quickly right after. Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, meaning that the second world war of destruction has passed, but the third world war of utter destruction shall come quickly, just as soon as they implement the CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. As soon as that CHIP is fully implemented upon society, upon the world, then that destructive and inevitable third world war follows quickly. Those arrows of mass destruction shall take out modern-day Babylon the Great. And they shall also cleanse the land that the small hats now inhabit. That land shall be cleansed of that pink city and of its kosher pork. But when it comes to modern-day Babylon the Great, it shall never rise to rebuild. But the land that the small hats now inhabit shall definitely rebuild to welcome in the true descendants and people of the Lord. It shall be rebuilt to welcome in the true Israelites. They shall return to their native land, according to Isaiah 14:1, which says the following: For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right, those strangers are more Israelite foreigners. Those are Israelite foreigners that were scattered. Israel was scattered into all the lands. Those are the strangers that shall be joined with them, other Israelites. That land that the small hats now occupy shall be cleansed in destruction. That's another reason why the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, gave Esau, Edom the knowledge and technology of the sword, in order to bring about those destructive arrows of his indignation. And by those very same weapons of mass destruction shall they bring the bitter end to their wicked kingdom on earth. That's right. That's why the scripture of Sirach 10:8 said the following: Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. The kingdom shall be translated unto the Israelites of so-called Negro, Latino, Taino, and Native American Indian ancestry. You are the 12 tribes of Israel. You are those other people. The Lord shall give the kingdom unto the Israelites, under the helm of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And they shall rule this earth in righteousness, and to that kingdom there shall be no end. It shall be eternal. But with that being said, Kal, Allah Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Shalom.